welcome to class. For today, I do have a set of blocks with me. We'll be doing a little bit of balance and stepping forward to the top of our mat. So if you find that blocks are helpful for you in that journey, go ahead and have them nearby as you need. So whenever you have what you need for practice today, go ahead and meet me in a constructive rest. We're going to be starting on our backs. Coming down nice and slow, allowing your spine to settle onto the mat. Feet come wide along the edges. And knees are going to come together to touch. Take whatever fidgets you need to settle into your space. Arms come alongside your body, palms lifted towards the sky. If you're looking to receive the energy around you, otherwise you can put one hand on your chest, one hand on your belly to maintain a more introverted space. And feel free to close your eyes. Whatever you're doing right before today's class, just giving yourself a moment to transition onto your mat. Just preparing the mind, the body for a nice, strong, even keel, balanced, focused class today. We're going to go ahead and take 3 breaths together. So if you haven't already, go ahead and seal the lips, soften the jaw. Deep inhale through the nose to a count of 4. So go ahead and clear your breath. And then go ahead and seal the lips, deep inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause at the top. And then exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause at the bottom. Deep inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause at the top. And exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause at the bottom. Deep inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause at the top. And exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause at the bottom. One more deep inhale, fill all the way up. Really feel that belly expand. Subtle lift to the chest. Pause as your top. And then go ahead and open the mouth, exhale. Clearing everything out. And then go ahead and return to the natural rhythm of your breath. And go ahead and blink the eyes open. Wiggle those feet parallel to one another. And then go ahead and grab hold of the right shin as you bring that right knee in towards your chest. Give it a nice squeeze in towards the chest. Keep that left knee bent if that's more comfortable, or otherwise extend it out nice and long. Try and keep the shoulders down and onto the mat. Bringing that right knee in toward your body as everything else settles heavy. Breathe into that compression. And then go ahead and bring that right knee over towards the left. Find a nice subtle twist. Right shoulder stays anchored down as that right arm comes into a capital T. Using that left hand to subtly guide that right thigh bone over and across your body. towards center. Go ahead and clasp the hands now behind the right thigh, letting the lower leg kind of dangle, letting that knee bend. And try to hold your right hip in that 90-degree angle. And from here, you're gonna go ahead and drive that right heel towards the sky, stretching out through the back line of the leg. And then exhale, lower down. Inhale, drive that heel towards the sky. Feeling that thigh, the front of the thigh turn on as the back of the leg lengthens. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Just trying to reach those toes towards the front of the shin. Try to lengthen out as much as you're able. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift that heel towards the sky, straighten through the back of the leg. And just bring that thigh in a little bit closer towards you, just hanging out in a more static stretch here. Feel free to creep those hands a little bit closer towards the ankle if that's accessible, maybe grabbing peace fingers around the big toe. Wherever you choose to be. Trying to keep that right hip plugged down towards the floor, trying not to allow it to lift away, trying to anchor into your space here. Always feel free to bend the opposite leg if that brings a little bit more ease into the space. So keep plugging that right hip back and down. Bring the hands back to the back line of that leg. Slowly bend that right knee. Right foot comes back to meet the left. And switching sides. Left knee comes in towards the chest, lays your fingers just below onto the shin. Give that leg a nice squeeze in towards your belly, and then extend that right leg long if that feels good. So reach that right heel towards the top of the mat as that left knee comes in towards that left armpit. Breathing into that compression, feeling the space you're creating within the hips, the pelvis. And then keeping those shoulders anchored down. Left arm into a capital T, go ahead and twist that left knee over towards the right. Finding that twist. Guiding that left thigh bone over towards the right, nice and slow. Twisting through the belly. With every inhale, you're finding length through the spine. Every exhale, you're settling into a slightly deeper space, whatever the body allows. Inhale back towards center. Grab hold behind that left thigh. And ready to go into those little kicks. And on that next inhale, drive that left heel towards the sky. And maybe you notice one side requires a little bit more effort than the other. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. You're feeling the front line of the leg turn on as the back line lengthens out with every round. Inhale, lift. Hold here. Feel free to stay here wherever your hands started at, or feel free to bring them a little closer to the ankle if that feels available. Maybe grabbing peace fingers to big toe. And wherever you're at, you're still trying to keep that left hip plugged down towards the mat. Keeping the hips even with one another. Shoulders are down and away from your ears. Feel free to bend the opposite knee for both stability and maybe a little bit deeper access into that left leg. And then go ahead nice and slow, bring the hands back behind that left leg, allow the left knee to soften. Left foot meets the right. And then go ahead and bring both knees in towards the chest, give yourself a nice big hug, nice good squeeze. Maybe the knees come a little bit wider instead of hugging the side bodies. One deep breath into that compression. And go ahead and lower those feet down to the mat. You're going to scoop that tailbone underneath you, rocking those hip points up and in towards your ribs. And then slowly press through the soles of the feet, squeeze the glutes, lift the hips, coming into a bridge pose. Arms resting alongside your body. Finding a nice subtle hip opener here, but also taking advantage of this moment to turn those muscles on the back of the hips, the back of the legs. Finding a little bit of activation with the opening. Here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly lower down. Rock and rolling up into the top of the mat. You can roll over onto your side and mosey your way up there as you prefer, but we're going to make our way into a forward fold at the top of the mat at your leisure when you're ready. And we're coming into your fold. Just kind of feel how the back line of the body feels. Swaying your weight side to side, bending and straightening the knees. Come right into some movement here. Bringing the focus into the legs, allowing the spine to hang heavy, head to hang heavy. So finding length within that space. Feeling a stronger connection within the soles of the feet, maybe gripping the toes onto the earth. We are doing a little bit of balance as we flow through today's class. So waking up the feet, making sure that those toes are waking up as well. Help us find stability in moments of challenge. So feel free to, again, shift your weight, feel all 4 corners of the feet, bend and straighten those legs, work out the kinks that you may feel here within the next breath or so. Just slowly settling into your space, lifting those hips up towards the sky as the head draws heavy down to the earth. Feet can be about hips width distance apart or so. And then go ahead and plant that right hand, deepen the bend in the right knee, and then go ahead and twist the chest over towards the left side of the room as the left hand reaches up towards the sky. Using that connection of the floor to the palm of the right hand to really press and help spin the chest, the collarbones over towards the left side, twisting through the belly. Exhale, left hand lowers, switching sides. Slowly bending into that left knee as the left hand plants and the right arm opens up towards the sky. Finding that twist through the belly. Using that connection of hand to earth to help twist the collarbones, spin the collarbones over towards the right side of the room. Trying to shine the chest over towards that side. using your arms as leverage to create that space. Driving that right hip back in space. And exhale, right hand lowers. Finding that forward fold. Inhale, find a halfway lift. Draw the shoulders down, collarbones nice and broad. Spine is nice and long, back body's engaged. Exhale, fold. And then on your inhale, ripple the spine all the way up to stand, keeping us on bend in the knees. And as those legs straighten, you press those hips forward, you round open through the spine. Arms reach up overhead. And exhale. Hands to heart center. Hands come down alongside your body. And on your next inhale, go ahead and lift the heels off the ground. Come up onto your toes. Exhale, lower the heels. Inhale, heels lift. Come high onto the toes. Find your balance. Work with the instability. And exhale, lower. 3 more rounds. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Nice and high onto the toes. Heels are nice and lifted. Belly is nice and strong here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly lower down. Shake it out. Shift the feet side to side, up and down. And then go ahead and shift your weight over onto the left side. Inhale, right knee lifts up and in towards the chest. Go ahead and lace your fingers just below the right knee and squeeze that right thigh in towards your chest. Strong and engaged through that left leg. And feel free to wiggle out that right ankle. Scrunch and flare the toes. Just find a little bit of movement here in this space. Nice little subtle way to kind of tune into our balance, our stability. Here for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and let go of that right knee and slowly lower down towards the floor. Moving on to that left side. Shift weight over onto the right. Nice and strong through the sole of the foot, all the way up and through the hip, through the belly. As the left knee comes in towards the chest, you grab hold of that left shin. Squeeze in towards your body as you stay lifted through the spine. Reaching through the crown of the head as our reaches towards the sky, through the ceiling. And go ahead and move that ankle around. Find some ankle rolls. Scrunch and flare the toes, waking up the feet. Waking up the lower leg. Nice and strong through the back line of the body, lifted through the belly. Using all the muscles you can to keep yourself nice and stable and upright and supported. Here for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice and slow. Let go of that left leg. Drop the left foot down towards the floor. Inhale. Arms look overhead. Reach tall. Maybe stretch out through the front body. And then exhale. Hands to heart center. Hinge the hips. Forward fold. Hands plant down towards the earth. Step the left foot back. The right foot back. Downward facing dog. Pedal out the feet. Bend and straighten one leg at a time. Maybe incorporate deeper into the hips, into the side body. Explore your space. Continue to find openings. And then begin to settle into your downward facing dog, lifting those hips up towards the sky. Here for 5 breaths. Pulling the energy through the palms of the hands, up through the shoulders, along the spine, through the hips as it pulls those hips up towards the sky, lengthening through the backs of the legs. ahead and roll over the toes. Drop the knees, coming into a tabletop position. Untuck the toes, tops of the feet, down onto the earth. Finding a nice, strong, and integrated tabletop position, belly button in towards the spine, nice and strong along the back body. And then from here, go ahead and extend that left leg, get nice and long back behind you, keeping those hips squared down towards the earth to start. And then you're slowly going to open the hips over towards the left side of the room, coming out to the left fingertips. Maybe lifting that left hand up and towards the sky. To the best of your ability, keeping that right leg grounded down into the earth. Trying not to let it kick in. Open, find your stability, find that challenge. Opening the body up towards the left side of the room. You're strong and stable here for 5, 4, pressing through the heel of that right hand, 3, driving down through the shin to the top of that right foot for 2, reaching through those left fingertips, the outer lining of that left leg. 1, go ahead and drop those left toes back behind you. Now kickstand that right leg, give yourself some more stability. Drop that left heel, reach that left arm up and overhead. Finding gate pose, bumping the left rib cage up towards the sky. Hips press forward. Find this expansion, let it feel good. Sweep that left arm back down. Coming back into tabletop position. Reintegrate tops of the feet down onto the earth, really grounding down, especially through that left side as we start to transition over into that space. So nice and slow, that right leg is going to lift up and back behind you, keeping those hips square down towards the earth to start. Find your stability, integrate here before we move forward. And then slowly spinning that right hip to stack on top of the left. Coming onto right fingertips. Slowly transitioning into this space. If you're keeping that left leg in that tabletop position, it's going to feel really unsteady. So really try to ground down through that left side. Heel of the left hand, top of the left foot. Lifting through the outer edge of that right leg. As the right fingertips reach up towards the sky. Stacking the collarbones. Maybe the gaze lifts. You're here for 5, for 4, 3, 2, 1, drop the right toe back behind you. Drop the right heel. Kickstand that left leg for a little bit more support as you reach the right arm up and overhead. Press those hips forward. Find that nice opening through the right side body. Pressing those hips forward. Keep those hips stacked on top of one another. Nice and slow, close everything off. Right hand comes down, left leg comes back to neutral, coming back into that tabletop. Tuck the back toes, lift the knees, lift the hips, downward facing dog. A breath or 2 here. Inhale, heels lift. Exhale, bend the knees, gaze forward. And then lift those hips up as you ripple that energy towards the top of the mat. Rounding through the spine, finding a spinal width to high plank. Pause in high plank. Bend the knees, lift the hips. Send them back, downward facing dog. 4 more rounds. Inhale, heels lift. Exhale, bend the knees, gaze forward. Use that as your spring. Your momentum to ripple forward into high plank. Pause, and then send the hips back, downward facing dog. 3 more rounds. Find them at your own pace, rippling forward. Trying to create more mobility in your spine, pausing in that plank, and then sending the hips back, downward facing dog. 2 more rounds. Inhale, heels lift. Exhale, gaze forward. Ripple it forward. Nice and slow, high plank. Pause, and then send the hips back. Last round here. Inhale, heels lift. Exhale, bend the knees, gaze forward. Ripple that energy all the way up. High plank, and pause here. Pause for a moment, integrate, feel the lift of the low belly. Opening of the shoulder blade. the collarbones. Shoulder blades are strong against the back body. And then from here, nice and slow, drop the heels over towards the right. Left hand lifts. Side plank. Left foot's in front of the right. Left hip is stacked on top of the right. Nice and strong through that right side body, pressing through the heel of that right hand. From here, can you slowly lift that left leg, left knee in towards the chest. Drive it here, stay lifted. Nice and slow, coming onto those right toes. So with grace, bring that left foot towards the top of the mat. Coming into a low lunge. Drive that left right heel back in space. Hands come inside that left foot. And then drop the back knee. Inhale, arms up overhead, Anjaneyasana. Lift through the low belly. Lift through that right hip point. And then exhale, hands or no hands, send the hips back. Lift the left toes. Half splits pose. Inhale. Arms up overhead, Anjaneyasana. Exhale, hands plant. Lift the back knee. Send the left foot back to the right, down facing dog. Taking a breath here. Inhale, heels lift. Exhale, bend the knees, gaze forward. Find that spinal wave towards the top of the mat. Finding your high plank. Pausing here. Lifting through the low belly, opening nice and wide through the collarbones. Strong through the heels of the hands. Slowly drop those heels towards the left side. Coming onto those right fingertips, eventually lifting that right hand as it reaches up and over towards the sky. From here, staying strong and lifted in that left side, can you drive that right knee in towards your chest, staying lifted here. Nice and slow, spinning onto those left toes to bring that right foot out towards the outer edge of the mat. Find that low lunge. Hands planted inside the right foot. Drop the back knee. Inhale up. Anjaneyasana. Lift through the belly. Lift through the right hip. Exhale, hands or no hands, send those hips back in space. Ardha Hanuman, half splits pose. Right toes lift towards the sky. Inhale, sweep those arms forward, Anjaneyasana. Exhale, hands plant. Set the right foot back. Set the hips back, downward facing dog. Take a breath or so here. Now, if you have blocks with you today, you can go ahead and grab those and place those underneath your hands. We're going to be doing some stepping forward towards the top of the mat. And we're going to be working into our balance. So if that seems like something that would be helpful for you, go ahead and grab those now. We'll all meet in downward facing dog. And settle into your space. On your next inhale, right leg lifts. On the exhale, drive that right knee in towards the chest. Plant that right foot to the right thumb. Inhale, arms up overhead, crescent lunge. Lifting through the low belly, reaching those fingertips up towards the sky. Exhale, sweep the arms back, straighten that front leg, pyramid pose. Use your hands as you need, but work on your balance. See if that's something that you are willing to explore here in class today. Keeping that right hip back in space. Inhale, arms up overhead, crescent lunge. Exhale as you sweep those arms down on this round. Shift your weight forward into that right foot as the back toes lift. Crouching warrior. Inhale, arms sweep up overhead as the back toes plant back behind you. Exhale, hands come down to the earth. Step the right foot back. Downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, bend that left knee as it drives forward. Coming to the left thumb. Inhale. Crescent lunge.
Drive that right heel back in space as that right hip lifts, continues to lift forward. Feel that length in the front of that hip. Exhale, hands or no hands, send those hips back, pyramid pose. Inhale, sweep the arms up, crescent pose. Exhale, sweep the arms back. Shift right into that left foot, crouching warrior. Arms extend long along the body. Inhale. Arms sweep up overhead as the right toes plant back behind you, coming back into that crescent lunge. Exhale, hands down to the mat. Step the left foot back, downward facing dog. Inhale, heels lift. Exhale, bend the knees, gaze forward. Ripple to that high plank. Nice and slow. Once you come into that high plank, feel free to take your variation of the push-up. Drop the knees. Send the hips back, gaze forward. Inhale, pull the body through, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Round 2, same flow. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, bend the knee. Drive it forward. Right foot between the hands. Inhale, sweep the arms up, crescent lunge. Stay lifted through the belly. Exhale, send the hips back, hands or no hands, pyramid pose. Arms come alongside the body as that front leg straightens ish. Keep that right hip driving back. Left hip pulls forward. Inhale, sweep the arms up and overhead, crescent lunge. Exhale, arms sweep down. Shift your weight into that right foot, popping off the back toes. Crouching warrior. Arms alongside the body, chest is lifted, back body engaged. Inhale, sweep the arms up, back toes drop. Crescent lunge. Exhale, hands to the floor. Step the right foot back to meet the left. Send the hips back, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, drive that knee forward. Right foot, left foot between the hands. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, send the hips back. Pyramid pose. Arms alongside the body as the fingertips reach back, the chest reaches forward. How long can you make your spine? How strong can you be in the legs? Inhale, sweep the arms forward, lift up. Lift into that crescent lunge as you sink into the legs. Exhale. Shift your weight forward, reach those fingertips back behind you as you come over top that front leg, crouching warrior. Inhale. Arms sweep up, right toes plant back, crescent lunge. Hands plant. Set that left foot back to meet the right, downward facing dog. Inhale, heels lift. Exhale, bend the knees, gaze forward. Ripple that energy all the way forward into your high plank. Feel free to take your variation of the vinyasa here in this space. We will all meet in downward facing dog. Inhale, pull yourself through, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Adding on. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, drive that knee forward. Plant the right foot between the hands. Inhale, crescent lunge. We've been here before. Sink nice and low. Maybe the hips are feeling a little bit more open. Exhale, send the hips back, hands or no hands. Pyramid pose. Inhale, sweep those arms up. Exhale, transition forward. Crouching warrior. As you are in this space, feel free to grab one of those blocks. Place it just in front of you, just beyond the front edge of the mat, as you start to spin the hips open, finding half moon pose. Like we did earlier in class, trying to open those hips nice and slow, stacking the left on top of the right. Reaching those left fingertips up towards the sky, pressing through the heel of that right hand to keep your upper body nice and long, lifted, open. Lifting through the outer edge of that back leg. For 3, 2, 1, nice and slow. Close everything off. That left hip point meets the right. Bring that block back. Inhale, left toes plant, crescent lunge. Exhale, hands plant. Right foot meets the left, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg lifts, exhale. Drive the left knee forward as it plants between the hands. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, send the hips back, pyramid pose. Hands or no hands. Play with the instability. Inhale, sweep the arms up, crescent lunge. Exhale, shift the weight forward, coming into crouching warrior. Find your moment of balance, grab hold of that block if you need it, and then nice and slow start to spin that right hip point open, stacking the right on top of the left. Starting with the hips, then maybe turn the belly, then maybe turn the collarbones. Maybe that right arm reaches up and overhead. Gaze can stay down, or gaze can lift. Nice and strong all the way through the legs, the belly, long and lifted through the torso, the arms, for 3, 2, 1, nice and slow, close it off, come back through, crouching warrior. Place that block back, drop the back toes, inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, hands come to the mat. Step the left foot back, downward facing dog. Inhale, heels lift. Exhale, bend the knees, gaze forward. Ripple that energy to your heart plank. Pause in here. Move forward through your vinyasa, or skip it. Pull yourself up and through, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. One more round so you can play with half moon. One more time. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, bend the knee. Drive it forward. Plant the hand. Plant the foot between the hands. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, send the hips back. Pyramid pose. Drive that right hip back and stays. Pull that left hip forward. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, crouching warrior. Inhale, start to spin, block or no block. Spin the body over and open towards the left. Strong and lifted. Here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice and slow, close it off. Return to crouching warrior. Pause for balance, integrate into your space before transitioning back. Crescent pose. Sink low, stay lifted. Hands plant. Right foot back to meet the left, downward facing dog. Left side, inhale, left leg lifts, exhale, bend the knee, drive forward. Left foot plants between the hands. Inhale, crescent lunge. Integrate into your space. Exhale, send the hips back. Reach those fingertips long. Pull back through that left hip. Inhale, arms reach up and overhead. Exhale, shift forward, crouching warrior. Fingertips reach back, collarbones nice and broad. Hands or no hands, block or no block. Spin those hips open, half moon pose. Stack the hips, stack the collarbones, reach those fingertips. Top to bottom here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Close it off, square everything down, crouching warrior. Pause here before transitioning to your crescent lunge. Reach those fingertips tall, sink those hips low. Hands come down to the earth. Left foot meets the right, downward facing dog. Inhale, heels lift, exhale, bend the knees, gaze forward. Ripple forward, plank pose. Finding that spinal wave. Pausing in plank. Your vinyasa. Take your variation of push up. Drop the knees, sit the hips back. Inhale, pull through, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Drop the knees. Bring the knees a little bit wider if that feels good for you. Come into child's pose. Sinking the hips low. Finding your breath. Trying to settle yourself down. Reach those fingertips nice and long, lengthen through the side body. And then from here, go ahead and grip down into the earth, round through the spine. Moving through cat pose. And then allowing the hips to drop. Maybe use the big toes to encourage those hips forward, pulling the body through high cobra or upward facing dog, open through the hips. And then lower the belly down. Nice and slow. Right arm extends into a capital T. Left fingertips just beyond the left shoulder. Bend the left knee. Reach those left toes over towards the right fingertips. Finding a nice stretch here. Heading back through center. Switching sides, right fingertips tent. Left arm extends into a capital T. Left ear down. Bend the right knee as you reach those right toes over towards the left. Drawing those shoulders down and away from your ears. Try not to overcrowd your space here. Right hip comes back and down. Hands underneath the shoulders. Press the hips back, child's pose. Lengthen through the low back. Keep those fingertips reaching towards the top of the mat. Walk the hands back towards the knees, sit hips to heels, bring those knees parallel to one another. Fingertips come beyond the tips of the toes. Scoop that tailbone underneath you. Open and lift through the front of the hips. Roll the shoulders open, finding a nice front body opener. Gaze can lift towards the sky or all the way back behind you. And slowly unravel your shape. Shift your weight forward, cross the ankles, bring your sit bones to the earth, and slowly make your way back to that position of constructive rest. So slowly lowering down into your spine. Bring those knees nice and wide. Knees to touch. And bring one hand to your chest, one hand to your belly. And feel free to close your eyes here. Finding a nice introverted space. Tune back into your breath to feel the energy flowing through you. Maybe your heart rate is still on its way and working its way down, so maybe you can feel that strong heartbeat underneath your hand. You can feel the rise and fall of your belly. Get that real visceral tactile feedback of all the hard work you just put into class here today on your mat. And just as we did, coming onto our mat, giving ourselves a few moments to transition into this space, I want you to give yourself a few breaths, a few moments to transition now out of this space. So whether you stay here, or if you'd like to transition into your full final rest, coming into Shavasana, feel free to transition into this space. And then remaining here for a few more breaths. To really feel that energy flow through your body, to allow the body to then settle and begin to prepare for life outside the mat and whatever it is that comes next in your day. As always, thank you so much for coming here to practice with me. I look forward to seeing y'all next time. And if you do like flowing with me, please feel free to like, subscribe, and continue to follow my classes that I post every Monday here on my YouTube channel. I look forward to seeing y'all next time. Have an awesome rest of your day.